It's kind of crazy when you think about it. One of the best-selling processors of all time is a chip that's already 3 years old, and it still tops the charts. But, with some seriously powerful new rivals on the scene, we've got to ask the big question. Is buying the Intel i5-12400F today a smart move for your new PC, or is it a costly mistake you're going to regret? I mean, it really is a puzzle, right? In the world of tech, 3 years is basically an eternity. So, to figure out why this CPU has such incredible staying power, we've got to set the stage for a proper showdown. Let's introduce the key players in today's budget market. All right, so in one corner, you've got our long-reigning champion, the Intel Core i5-12400F. This is the veteran, the one everybody knows for its amazing value. And in the other corner, we've got the challengers, AMD's Ryzen 5 7500F and 8400F. These are the new kids on the block, and on paper at least, they look a whole lot more powerful. Okay, let's really dive into this. If you want to understand the battle here, you have to start with the raw technical specs, because trust me, a very, very clear story starts to emerge the second you look at the numbers. So what's so interesting here is that at first glance, they look almost identical. I mean, 6 cores, 12 threads, same, right? Well, not so fast. You gotta look closer. The AMD chips, they're built on the newer Zen 4 architecture. That basically means they're just smarter. They do more work with every single clock cycle. And here's the kicker. They've got nearly double the L3 cache. Think of that like a little stash of super fast memory right on the chip itself. Put those two things together, and yeah, that's a massive technical advantage for AMD. And this chart, wow, it just perfectly shows you what those specs mean in the real world. When you look at the performance benchmarks, I don't care if it's single-core speed or multi-core muscle, that newer AMD architecture just gives them a clear, undeniable lead. In a straight-up raw power contest, the 12400F is, well, it's just outmatched. No contest. So, looking at those numbers, you'd think the case is closed, right? AMD wins, hands down, easy. But if that were true, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. This, my friends, is where the real story begins. This is the part that changes everything. And this brings us to what is probably the most crucial part of this whole thing. Here's something you absolutely need to understand. The price you see on the CPU box, that is not the true cost of your system. Not even close. To find the real value, you have to look way deeper than just the processor. See, every PC build really comes down to 3 key parts working together. The CPU, the motherboard it plugs into, and the RAM that feeds it all the data. You can't just buy a CPU in a vacuum. You're buying into its entire ecosystem, what we call its platform. And right here, this is the i5-12400F's secret weapon, its trump card. See, because it runs on an older platform, you can pair it with super cheap H610 or B660 motherboards and all that affordable DDR4 RAM that's everywhere. But AMD's newer chips? Nope. They require a more expensive AM5 motherboard and pricier DDR5 RAM. So when you add up the cost of all 3 parts, the total bill for the Intel platform is way, way lower. And that brings us to the most important metric for any budget builder out there, performance per dollar. Yeah, the 12400F is slower, we've established that, but its much lower platform cost completely cancels out that performance gap. And just like that, suddenly, these two contenders are practically neck and neck when it comes to the actual value you're getting for every dollar you spend. Okay, so value-wise, they're tied. So let's see how this all shakes out where it matters most for a lot of you builders. Real-world gaming. Can this old veteran actually keep up with the latest and greatest titles? And the verdict? It's honestly overwhelmingly positive. If you're building a PC in that budget to mid-range sweet spot, the 12400F is still an incredibly solid choice. I mean, it handles new GPUs like an RTX 5060 without even breaking a sweat. It can even power a high-end 5070 Ti at 4K. Now, yeah, there's a tiny bottleneck that just means the CPU is holding the graphics card back just a little bit, but we're talking around 5%. You would probably never even notice it while you're playing. This thing is an absolute workhorse. Okay, great, so it's good for gaming. But hey, not everyone is just a gamer, right? What if you're a creator? Someone who's going to use this PC to edit videos, render 3D models, or write code. Can this budget CPU handle that kind of professional work? Well, the answer gets a little more complicated. It really, really depends on what you're doing. Let's talk video editing. Here, the 12400F can be surprisingly good, but there is a catch. Here's the deal. Its performance is basically tied to your graphics card. If you pair it with a modern GPU, like something from the RTX 50 series, that graphics card can do all the heavy lifting. It handles the tough video files, and the 12400F just cruises along with it beautifully. But if you've got an older GPU, yeah, you're gonna have to stick to simpler video formats. Okay, now for 3D rendering. And look, I have to be completely blunt here. If your main job is CQ-based 3D rendering, this is not the chip for you, full stop. Yeah, it can technically do the work, but with only 6 cores, it's just not enough for any serious rendering. It will be painfully slow. You are so much better off looking somewhere else, or just focusing on GPU rendering instead. So what about coding and development? You know what? It's perfectly fine for most people. It'll handle all your basic tasks. It can even run a couple of virtual machines, no problem. It's really only when you get into that super heavy-duty hardcore development work that you'd actually need to step up to something more powerful. All right, so we've looked at the specs, we've uncovered the hidden costs, we've put it through gaming tests and checked out creative workloads. After all of that, let's put it all together. Let's answer the final, most important question of all. Who should actually go out and buy this CPU today? This processor absolutely hits a bullseye for 2 main groups of people. First, and this is the big one, budget and mid-range gamers. You just get incredible performance for the price. And second, entry-level video editors, as long as you plan to pair it with a modern graphics card. If you do that, you can build a surprisingly powerful and affordable content creation machine. So here's the bottom line. The Intel Core i5-12400F is not the fastest or the strongest CPU out there anymore, not by a long shot. Its real power, its secret sauce, isn't its raw speed. It's the incredible value you get from its super cheap platform, the motherboards and the RAM. And that strategic advantage is what keeps it a top-tier choice for budget gaming even today. You know, at the end of the day, the i5-12400F and its long-lasting success is just a powerful reminder of something really important. In this complicated world of building PCs, the smartest choice isn't always the strongest one. True value isn't just about raw power. It's about finding that perfect, intelligent balance between performance, price, and what you actually need it to do.
If you enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell to the latest update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end, and see you in the next video.